Alright, welcome back, Dia Builders. I've been getting a lot of questions about some of the materials I've been using, paint, my cutting tools, paint brushes. So I'm gonna do a quick haul video of stuff that I resupplied on, and stuff that I already have, like stuff that I've just had laying around, and just give a brief example. So if anybody has any questions on my other videos where I'm actually crafting things, I could point them to this video, and you guys could point other people to this video as well, so they know the kind of materials and kind of the tools I use to make dioramas and props as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over a couple of the things that I use, and then just move along onto the stuff that I bought. So this stuff is like the cheap snap blades. You could get four for like $1 at Walmart in a pack. You can replace these blades after they're dull with some nicer blades, which I bought right here. I really like these blades. These ones fit into the bigger one, and these stay pretty sharp, and they're not flimsy, so you can actually sharpen them with like a knife sharpener or a stone sharpener, where it's like pretty much as a stone for sharpening knives. So these sharpen up really well. I do use these regular box cutters as well. They're good for cutting foam pretty straight since they don't have any flex to them. So I use that as well. I use the replacement blades for that, so when these go dull, I just toss them. I don't bother sharpening these. I do use a couple of different X-Acto knives. I'm trying this one out. I have another one that's just pure metal, but it's not comfortable in the hand, so I decided to get one that has a plastic cover on it. If that doesn't work out, I'll get one that has like a foam grip on it and see how that works for me. I do get the replacement blades for that as well. And then I also get this type of snap blade. It is cheaper than one of these, but the blade's also better than these ones. So it's just good to have different, cutting tools. Sometimes I'd be using these and I don't like how it's cutting the foam, even if I have a sharp blade in it. Or just sometimes I don't feel like going to my workstation and just picking the cheap ones out. Or, sometimes I'm lazy and I forget to sharpen these up, so I just grab one of these, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much the cutting tools I use. I'm going to go ahead and go on to some of the painting stuff I use, like paints and paint brushes. Alright, so here we are. What you guys see in front of you is sponge brushes. I just get these from the Dollar Tree. They're really cheap. I pretty much use these if I want to, black wash something really quick. Instead of using one of my paint brushes, I could use this and just soak up the black wash and do a quick black wash. Or even sometimes if I'm applying like a sealer, like Mod Podge, or even Elmer's glue as a sealer, I could use these and just toss them. They're really cheap. Instead of using, one of my brushes and then having to toss it, or keeping it and trying to make the brush better again, because after you use Mod Podge on a paintbrush, as you guys know, it gets a lot harder. On a side note, I do use a silicone brush now too as well for applying Mod Podge, but sometimes it'll leave some streaks on there. Sometimes it's okay, I could fix that, but you can never go wrong with some of these sponge brushes. They're really cheap. Like I said, I get them for $1 for 10. And then what you see here is some texturing sponges. I really like these a lot to get a lot of good texture, because when you're painting and it's just a flat coat of paint and there's no texture in it, you can still make it look good with washes and layers of paint and dry brushing. But sometimes if you use a sponge brush, you could get some really fine textures in there. So when you're up close with the diorama, or you're taking pictures, really high quality pictures, you can see that texture, and it gives it a little bit more realism. So I like using these. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out these with the brushes that I use. Alright, so here we are. Hopefully I got all the paint brushes here in frame. I just buy the bulk packs. They're not the high quality ones. They are from Craftsmart. But like I said, a lot of these, if I forget to, wash out the paint, or, forget to clean them really well, I could just toss them. I have a bunch of them. So I like to keep these on hand a lot. I also get another set from Craftsmart. It comes with different size brushes, which is really good. Imagine painting a black basing, or painting a big diorama with bricks or something like that with small brushes. So I like to get some different sizes too. Fan brush for dry brushing sometimes. The big brushes to cover big areas. Even tiny fine brushes. As long as you take care of these cheap brushes, they'll keep their point. You just got to remember when you wash them out to re-twist the point and let them dry that way. Never put them down in a cup of water with the bristles touching the bottom, because you're going to deform the bristles on the brush. I also grabbed some cheap Craftsmart as well paint brushes. These are like the cheaper end. They're really not that expensive. I like these because they have like the harder textured bristles on them, so I could get, you know, some really interesting dry brushing. And then I have really soft, like these are super soft, like they'll soak up a wash really good. So if I want to do a wash on something in small areas, like on a prop, you know, to put some oil or some grime or, you know, whatever on there, these really help out a lot. And then I also buy some these Walmart brand brushes. They're the Royal brand. I really like these a lot. They're the good in between. They're not really expensive, but you know, they're decent quality. They really have soft bristles. I really like these a lot. They sell all sorts of different sizes for this brand in Walmart. I really do buy these the most. A lot of these other ones are just throwaway brushes if I forget to clean them, like I said before. That's pretty much it for the brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the paint. Alright, so here we are with some of the paints that I use. I do use some cheap acrylic paints for my dioramas. Different brands, really. Craftsmart is usually the one I go to because they have a lot of different colors. And since I do videos for you guys, I try to get a different amount of colors instead of mixing custom colors, because it's really hard to explain the ratio when I mix a custom color to paint something up. So that's why I decided to use a lot of the Craftsmart paint, because they do have a variety of different colors. And so it just makes it easier for me to put up a picture while I'm painting, like, you know, the name of the color and the picture of it, so you guys can know the exact color instead of me custom mixing paint, and then you guys have to figure out the ratio of what I use, and I can't really explain that on camera. So that's one of the main reasons I use this cheap acrylic paint. And not only that, it does, you know, work really well with the foam. Another thing that I use for cheap acrylic paint for brands, I do like using some folk art brand. I don't know if you guys can see that. They have a lot of good mute colors, which I like. They dry kind of matte sometimes. I'm pretty sure they have some glossy ones, but their matte, you know, their matte line of colors are really good. I like them a lot. I do use Americana as well for some of their gunmetal colors and steel colors to do undercoats on metallic things. And for like metallic colors, I like using Deco Art. They have a lot of really good metallic colors that come out really well. They have, you know, a silver that looks really good. They have even these like weird metallic colors as well, which I have. You know, red metallic, blue metallic. It's really interesting colors that they have, and they come out really good. And the other one I like using is Apple Barrel. Of course, you could get it at Walmart. So, you know, if I'm picking up paintbrushes there, I'll pick up a couple of paints as well. Another type of paint I like using is oil colors. I haven't covered a video on this, but I do some weathering with these kind of oil colors. They do take a little bit longer to dry because there are oil paints, but they really do have some really good nice colors on here to do rust, to do grime, and that kind of stuff. So if you're really trying to make a abandoned building or make a prop look really grimy, you could use this and it works really well. I'll probably end up doing a video on that sooner or later. And then another colors that I like getting that I recently found that come on really thick, and they're really good to use on like plastic props if, you know, you don't want to do spray paint. You just got to seal it really well afterwards. But this goes on pretty thick, and you can thin them out to a certain extent before they start breaking down the paint pigments. It's this handmade modern colors that you could buy at Target. They're a little bit pricey. They're about, I think, like $4 or $3 for these. But they do have some metallic colors. They have, you know, other colors that come like with matte or eggshell drying, like different textures that they dry, like an eggshell kind of finish or like a matte finish, which gives you more options, which is really nice. I don't tend to buy these a lot, you know. I buy them once in a while. Like I said, they're more expensive, but if I could, you know, find a metallic color in, you know, the Americana or a nice flat color in folk art, I'll prefer that over anything. And the last thing for paints, you know, I do a lot of paint mixing or dry brushing, or, you know, I have a lot of colors set off to the side when I'm filming, so I could just bring it in really fast. Or I'm, you know, dipping my paint in the, or my paintbrush in the paint off camera and then bringing it in. So I like using these like paint trays, which I get at Michael's. These are really nice. If I'm feeling lazy and I don't feel like cleaning after I'm crafting, I'll wrap these in like silicone wrap, you know, like for Tupperware. I'll just wrap them, or even sometimes in foil, and then I'll just put my paint in there and I could paint, and then after I'm done I could just take the foil off or the saran wrap off and I could just toss it. So those come really in handy. That's pretty much it for paints. I'm going to go ahead and move on to some other things that I or I'm gonna move on to the type of foam that I use. So because I get a lot of questions about the foam, so I'm gonna go over it in here, and then I will have links for where I get the foam if I find some good prices, so you guys can know where I get my foam at as well.